Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Bigger Bite, where we take a deeper dive into some of the movies and television shows just gracing our screens. Once again, I am Matt, and on today's panel, we have none other than Paige Frabetti, we got Amarú Moses, we got Amanda and Adriano, and we are here to talk to you about a film that, I'll say it up top, that shit was a motherfucking masterpiece, and that is Sinners by Ryan Coogler. What's up, everyone? Rue, how you doing?
I'm tired. I'm good, but I'm very, very happy to talk about this. It's been a long time since I got to say this comment, but just like Haley Steinfeld, I'm here with my token white girl on my show. We used to do that on One Gotta Stay. She's the token one. Amanda is now the extra one for me, which is cool. But I'm very, very happy to be here. Very happy to talk about this amazing movie.
Paige, how are you doing, young lady?
Oh, fellas, I'm so happy you guys had me on this episode to talk about this film itself per se, because hands down, it's by far the best film that's been released this year thus far. And I think will probably remain on my top 10, if not top 5 for the rest of the year. So I just can't wait to keep riding the wave of Sinners.
Adriano and Amanda, how are you two doing today?
Good. We got out of our second round of 70 millimeter IMAX film. We got one of these lovely strips.
I hate you
right here.
I hate you.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Nice.
I'm still riding a high. I think that second viewing just made it so much better. Like, I still got chills watching it. It just hits even more. And you just get it more. Not that you don't get it the first time. You just notice more things. And I love this. I love this so much.
Yeah, it's kind of what Paige was saying. It's like this. It's kind of like when I saw Challengers last year, and I was like, this is gonna be in the top 10 all year. It's pretty spectacular. And a second viewing helped me like I had an idea of what Coogler was going for, like, contextually the first time I saw it, and the second time I was like, oh, I was not off, but like way oversimplifying it at best.
Yeah.
And I was like, and there's like a lot to this movie that, like, I really hope, like, Coogler, like, gets he is getting credit for it, but, like, really, like, gets, like, the flowers for it, because it's something special, and just from a filmmaking standpoint, it's impressive.
Yeah. I've never gotten chills in a movie. Like, people have said that before. I got chills. It's never happened to me. It happened twice in that movie. Like, I visibly was like, oh man, like, finally this has happened. And so I'm with y'all 100% of the way.
Love it.
And I think that's what I loved most about, like, this is like his first, like, stab at, I guess, like, an original story in a sense, because Fruitvale Station is based on, like, a true event in a sense.
Yep.
And of course, like, Creed is based off of Rocky, like the Rocky franchise, and then we have Black Panther, which is our Marvel comic book film. So, like, it's so amazing to see this man be given, like, the reins to kind of just go do something that was really bold and daring. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out, because I was like, like, vampire film in the Jim Crow era, like, how, like, is it going to be more like horror-y or just like genre based? But no, the film is like so much more than that, because it has like not only the cinematic flair, but like the social commentary to like back up its themes of what it's trying to say. Like, the vampires and everything around it is a metaphor of what it's trying to state in a sense, which I thought was so fascinating.
No, absolutely. I do want to say, like I said up top, I found this to be a masterpiece. It's a masterwork. As a young Black man, I made the decision for, on my second viewing of the film, taking my 10-year-old godson to see it, and he's mixed child, and he was just vibing with it. I'm going to talk about that one shot. When a one shot has a 10-year-old boy going, whoa.
Did he sit up? Oh my God. Did he lean forward into the
seat? Yeah, he did. No, he got up in the recliner seat, was like, huh? I was like, yep.
Yeah.
She can attest. I was genuinely in this state. Like,
yeah.
I will say at first that moment, everyone knows what we're talking about when we say like that moment. And at first, when it first started, I was like, I kind of got taken out of it. But then I was so like mesmerized with like what, like how they were mixing the sound and everything, and like the history of the music into that scene. It just like became mesmerizing. So at first I was like, what? And then I was like whoa, like, and if a scene can do that to you, I think like it speaks volumes of a craftsmanship per se of a director.
You nailed exactly how I feel, but at the same time, I've gone back and listened to that song a million times since seeing the film. And I think ultimately why it's not like you're getting pulled out, but it's like a sense of shock because you have some electric guitar come in out of nowhere and you're just like, hold up, what? And then you just listen and it just starts to blend in, and then you hear the drums, and then you hear the MC and the disc scratching and the beatbox dancing and all, like, so much just goes on, and it's just fucking magnificent.
This is one of the scenes. It's the first scene for me that I got chills. I got chills right now thinking about it. And what I loved about it, people were talking about, like Paige, you said you got taken out of it. I don't know if it's lucky or not, because I probably would have had even a more visceral reaction if I didn't know. I knew a scene was coming. Like, I didn't know what the scene was, but everybody, like, when I was like at least looking at like first reactions, everybody kept saying that one shot, that one scene, that one thing. So I was waiting for it, but I had no idea what it was going to be. What I loved is that the first line of the film set it up. The first thing they mentioned is that there are musicians so powerful that they conjure their spirits and they recall them a griot. So when he started singing and they say that line again, and I see the first ancestor come in as a griot, I was like, oh, here it comes. This is what I'm waiting for. And then it just kept building and building. And I will say, it didn't take me out, but like there were parts that purposely seemed like offbeat and came back because he was transitioning. And I was like, yeah, you have so many different aspects. Not only that, when they started twerking on scene, I was like, you are giving it to everybody. That with the African traditional dancing, the Chinese traditional dancing, was the B-boy Asian?
No.
Was the B-boy Asian? No. Okay, I couldn't tell, but I was like, he could be Asian, he could be black. But it was not only just so well done as a craftsman, but it is what solidified music as a character in this film. And just made me appreciate it. Appreciate just so much how Ryan Coogler like proves he is now an event director. He's doing something everybody's going to see it no matter what. And that shot and I think it's the perfect time to do it right in the middle of the film, not right before shit hits the fan, but you start to feel the transition of things ramping up from there. So
I mean, in a way, it's what set off the events. That
it was.
It is.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, you talk about Coogler becoming an event filmmaker. My buddy Kutso saw it with me on Thursday, first showing in XD we could go to. He went yesterday again in XD, and he said, because Tuesday, or as transparency, we're recording this on Tuesday. Tuesday is our discount day at Cinemark, and theater. He said there wasn't an empty seat, even the front row. He's like, I couldn't find a parking space.
So I was going to back it up with.
A lot of people.
I was going to back it up with a news story. Somebody posted that usually there's a huge drop off from Easter Monday to Tuesday. Easter Tuesday made more money than Easter Monday on this movie.
And
so Variety, I'm glad we bullied you into getting rid of that bullshit headline, because now it's about to continue. So good job there.
I'm gonna have to keep eating crow, and so might a certain independent pundit also, but I won't name him because I don't want to feel mixed.
You know who. And that's someone who I just want to add on, as someone who works at a theater. Yesterday was our discount day. Yes. Only 2 movies like crossed like 200. One of them was obviously Minecraft with 6 screenings, and with 3 screenings, Sinners was like 20 off with less screens. Like, this movie is catching on.
It has legs.
Oh, God,
I think it's legs. Like, I remember when Black Panther came out for Coogler, and it was just like people were coming, like for like busloads of people were filling that theater, and it had such longevity. And I have the same feeling with Sinners because word of mouth has been phenomenal.
It's been ridiculous.
And everyone,
Yeah.
I've never seen IMAX filled to the brim on a Wednesday at 3:00. Like I've never like seen it like that in my life. So I was like, wow, like it's going and it has legs, and I hope it stays in theaters for months just for him at this point.
Yeah.
You feel that it's monumental. You do.
I just got to say, and I think Rue will co-sign this: never underestimate the black dollar. That is what put Black Panther over, and I have a feeling that is going to put you.
I think that weekend. Like, I know.
I mean, it's like funny when you hear early word of mouth on films, like. There's two ways you can take it. Either it's the real deal or it's just first reaction hype, and people are just giving the praise because they were invited to a screening or something like that. So it's like kind of always take it with a grain of salt. And like going into this film, I'm a huge Ryan Coogler fan, so I was just like, I'm just praying to God these early reactions are accurate. And holy shit, like this movie really is the real deal because, I mean, like I said, like it has so much going for it because it blends like history and like horror, like
And
so like
Tarantino-esqueness.
yes, like in such a like suave way, and like I can't think of the guy that did this score.
Ludwig
Göransson.
The GOAT officially.
That
John Williams is still alive, man. He's getting there though.
he is honestly he's becoming the new fucking John Williams though. Like he is the next John Williams in my eyes, and dude's about to go, I think, 3 for 3 at the Oscars.
Fingers crossed.
I think he will definitely, unless there's another film coming out this year that I don't know of, like that's going to have like a crazy score. This film right here, like, should run with it. I mean, I guess like Wicked, but like, so I think this might even take original song. To be entirely honest with you, like,
It's got quite a few.
battle.
We've actually gone back and listened to the soundtrack. There's some songs in there that we only get to hear the actual sheet music for, but like Haley Steinfeld has a song in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
We hear the sheet music for, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I do want to say, I know we normally don't talk about this stuff on this, but Abdi and DeLuca have to be taking a victory lap right now because for weeks it was talked about how Zoloft was going to be potentially replacing them as Warner Brother heads, and now they have Minecraft and this under their belts.
They got a lifeline for sure.
Two lifelines. They got two lifelines. Minecraft gave them a little bit, and then this is like, well, shit.
Yeah. And Warner Brothers was scared about this movie because mainly because of the budget, but also because of like the fact that it's like an original movie. And like,
shout out to Ryan Coogler getting the rights back in 25 years.
That is, which I gotta say is not nearly as like dangerous as like headlines are making it out to be, but that's still incredible.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, it's not
for
as
studios.
Like,
it is for studios.
Yeah. It's not as like, oh, Hollywood's over as some of the headlines are making it out to be. Yeah. But like it's still incredible, and Coogler deserves it. I think like I said in my review on Bitesize Breakdown, if you want to go check that out, that like Coogler is like, I would say, one of our best genre auteurs. Like he's just one of our best auteurs. Don't put him in genre. Well, I wanted to
I'm
specify genre for a reason because he's one of our best filmmakers, period. But I wanted to specify genre because he's so good at playing with it. Like everyone knows I'm not the biggest Marvel guy in the world, and like even the Black Panther movies, I'm like, they're not the best movies ever made, but I really like how he interweaves like the sci-fi with his like character work, yes, and also cultural like context with what he wants to tell in those stories. Creed 2, he's just incredibly talented.
My bad. You said Creed 2 is in as well.
Creed as well.
As well.
He did not do Creed 2.
He didn't do that one.
Cleveland
I would love
Stephen Caporusso
Jr. Yes.
Oh yeah. No.
I want to add on to that because another thing I love about the movie that I want to get into. One, just in general, this just on the surface, this doesn't seem like an Oscar film because it's not like brooding and dramatic. This is a blockbuster. This is a popcorn film with so much more. And that's why I agree with you on the genre filmmaking, how good he is at making films that people love to go see and are going to have a good time, but also have the prestige to show you that these kind of movies can have that prestige. I am really interested on your take, like listening to different people. One big thing I heard all the time, and even said myself, is the slow start. It is a slow start, but it's so interesting that if I never got the vampires, I would love this movie. Like, how did y'all like? How did y'all like the Southern Gothic drama before the stuff hit the fan? Because I absolutely loved it and was enthralled with it.
I see why people are saying that it's slow. I get it, but I would say it did an outstanding job of setting up this wide variety of characters, this like, what's going on without feeling expository.
Yeah.
Like that monologue that Delroy Lindo has about the
his
friend that he played with, who got lynched. You don't realize how much context that adds, not only to the movie but also this time in history.
But in addition, the way that he added the sound effects of what was happening as the story was playing,
I noticed that on this viewing.
Something I've never heard before. It just builds the world so much more. And yeah, man, that monologue. Shout out to Delroy was beautiful.
Fantastic.
Do want to add? Got to give some props to Ryan Coogler, because I don't know if you guys read the story, but he wanted them to find just a different looking guitar for this film, and that guitar has been like seared in my mind because of how different it looks.
So nice.
And then when he smashes it over Remek's head, and you just see that it's lodged in there and burning, I'm like,
and it's silver.
Exactly.
I hope y'all know we're spoiling this right now. If you're watching,
okay,
yeah.
I
review.
was wondering.
But no, to kind of go back to what you were saying, like asking Rue.
It's a bigger bite. It's a deeper dive. If you could figure out a deeper dive,
I don't think the beginning is a slow burn at all, because it's throwing us back into history, into the Jim Crow era of establishing like the environment that we're placed in and like where the story is set. But it's also giving you so much like character development and just like background without like beating you over the head, in which I like you could tell like Stack and Smoke like and Sammy, and like you can tell that everyone is like those three, since considering their kind, and even the lead vampire, what can I think of as Jack?
Remek.
Okay. Like they're all searching kind of for like the freedom in a sense. And I think that's what I found like so fascinating. Like the twins are using, I guess you can say, like blood money to feel free to open up this like a club so that they can just like be able to like I don't want to say like lash out, but like be able to like live and vibe and have like this music, this joint that they can hang out with. Sammy just wants to break free and play music and like get away from like the church and all of that. And then of course you have like our lead vampire, who is kind of just trying to
find his community.
Find his community, which is like kind of like insane, because I'm curious what you guys think on it, but like as an antagonist in the film, he kind of isn't really like a bad guy. Like
Ryan Coogler knows how to direct villains and write villains.
Yeah. I guess
Killmonger is my favorite Marvel villain.
Same.
Like
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead, because I'm going somewhere else.
Well, I was going to go on a tangent. Like, I think with Remek, I think like because I don't want to go on too long a tangent, because I have a lot to say about this Remek character and how well like fleshed out it was. Because like nothing was stopping Coogler from making him just another redneck vampire. You know what I mean? Nothing was stopping him. But I think the Irish heritage is purposeful. The history of the Irish,
exactly.
There's like of how they were persecuted, and it's not just like you said, it wasn't just some angry white supremacist. It's someone who learned incorrect mistakes from his like trauma in a way, and kind of like almost restarting the cycle to the people in the juke bar. It's a very like I also think like the parallels between the vampires and the KKK was very on purpose with that caveat as well, which is something I noticed more this time around.
Which I think I kind of liked, though, that the vampires, like, I think that's what we all thought, like, oh, it's going to be like KKK vampires against these African Americans, and it's like, actually, no, it's not that. Which I think
it would have been good enough.
One, I find so much
Like,
more.
they didn't do that though. It's like
I'm glad he
they
didn't do that.
Live this better life. Like obviously they said heaven on earth after they turn, and it's like, well, how are you going to even like do that at the same? They're promising maybe like a false like heaven on earth with them. So I thought that was an interesting line too that Haley said. So I really love that angle.
Yeah, like because the movie very clearly is very heavily pointing to how temptation, because like that's the appeal of vampires in this movie. Like they're very like, oh, we're having a great time, like it's, we don't like this racial inequality exists in our community and stuff like that. It's very much you tempting to go there, and it, I again, it's so I don't have like the clearest picture yet, but like what I can for him so far, I'm like, oh damn, man, Coogler really was cooking.
What I also love is the vampire trope of like inviting someone in, which used for comedic timing, which works so well. Like Delroy Lindo stole every freaking scene that he was in. I adore that man.
Same with Cornbread too.
Yeah, like it worked so well, and it was so simple to throw in, but it just had layers to it as well. So I love that.
So real quick, I want to go back to something Paige said, because she mentioned it's about them wanting a smoke and stack opening juke because they want to vibe, they want to live. That's not, and this is me coming as a black man knowing that time period. That's not really it at all. It's taking something the world is trying to prevent them from having. And that's what that last moment is about. That's why Smoke or Stack is talking about that was the best day of his life, because it was the last day he saw his brother. They got to do what they wanted to do, even if it only lasted for one night.
Yeah.
So
I will say like what Paige was talking about, like how it's connected to freedom and like the freedom to do what they want. So the both of you.
I was just adding some deeper. I was just saying it. She got it, but there's a little bit more to it. That's all I was saying.
For sure. And I loved, like, I think that this is. I love hearing that people have been saying that Michael B. Jordan has beat his case, because there have been questions about his acting ability. For me, I understood some of it, because he up to this point, he kind of plays the like beaten down, fighting against the world trope. And then outside of that, it's a little stretch. He has to stretch a little bit to get past that. This has beat all those cases. Like for me, the fact that the very first scene when I saw them two together, where I was like, ooh, they did the little trick in the trailer when they only have smoke on the truck, but in the movie it's actually Smoke and Stack. And when I first saw them, I was like, ooh, okay, it's two Michael B. Jordans. Man, I wonder if like I'm gonna like get weirded out because the two of them, if digitally I'm gonna see where they at. I think in 5 minutes I completely forgot, and in 5 minutes without a word, I could tell between Smoke and Stack without anything. That man killed this role.
Yeah.
Real quick, I do want to add on that is due to some of the new technology that they developed, or Coogler and Co. developed for this film. I don't know if you saw the interview with Jimmy Fallon, but they talk about that. So if you guys want to learn more about that, go check out that interview with Jimmy Fallon. Real quick, I'm glad Michael B. Jordan was able to beat the cases on his performance in some areas and not in other. Anyways, Rooney, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we talk about Michael B. Jordan, but the real standout here, I got Rue.
Perfect timing for this camera to go out.
So we talked a lot about Michael B. Jordan here, but I do feel like somebody who's not getting their flowers as much as they deserve to is newcomer Miles Catt. He is known for his R&B music, so let me put that out there. But this is like his first time as an actor, and you got to give props for Coogler helping discover this man, because this man is going to have a future going forward, and also his music probably going to get more popular.
I mean, honestly,
sorry, yeah, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, thank God for the artist her, because he used to sing backup like track to her, and she's the one that like told him like, you need to go audition for Ryan Coogler, because man, that man's voice, Miles's voice is powerful as fuck. When he first spoke on screen, I had no idea that voice was gonna come out of his mouth, and it kind of like transcends you to like a next level with that. Like it's just such a powerful voice.
What Paige is saying? Yes, this movie is incredibly horny, and that voice did the same thing. That voice did its job, is what she's saying.
All vampire movies are horny in some sense, you know.
Yeah, but this was horny minus the vampire.
Yeah,
that is true, actually.
Yeah,
I really love the interviews you saw, like with him and his family on. If you've seen the Sherry Shepherd interview, where his mom is in the audience, and that scene comes on, and where he goes down on Jamie Lawson's character.
I just want to taste you.
Yeah, and he had to tell his mom, "I'm grown, mom. That's what's going on. I'm grown here."
But his grandmother watched it too, and then Jamie Lawson was like there beside. I was like, "Holy!"
By the way, Jamie Lawson needs to be Storm in the MCU. Just saying, loved her in the Batman. She'd be great as Storm in the MCU. Please make that happen.
Yeah,
I agree.
Had to put that aside in there.
I agree. People who are on Letterboxd, Catton, not Canton, no N, because I've seen that a bunch. Miles Catton, to be able to be your first film and just to stand alongside and basically be the linchpin, the through point of this entire film. He's the
emotional depth in it, in a sense,
He's the first person we see. He's technically, his character is the last person. No, he is the last person we see at the end of the credits. He is the one that if you don't believe his character, if you don't believe his singing, this does not work. We get to see his acting and him. He feels like the little cousin. He feels like the one that is going along. I really loved that scene with him and Smoke, where Smoke is telling him, "This is not your life, man. This is not the life you want." Yeah. And he's like, "No, but this is what I want. I'm trying to be what you are." And those themes of choosing your own destiny for yourself, no matter who is there for you or not, no matter what the world is, and knowing that either choice is actually okay as long as you're true to yourself. I love that. I love how he played it. Just the mixture of both singing and acting. He was phenomenal in this.
Which, by the way, shout out to the young man tasting it once and then naming a jazz bar after it. Or did you guys not catch that?
I did. The bar was named Perline because Perline because he fell in love with Perline when he got older, and it was still named Perline. Yeah, when he was an older man, I definitely thought that.
I was like, all right, young fella, do what you got to do.
But I mean, also this. I mean, this is the first year at the Oscars that we're getting the ensemble award. Casting. Sorry, casting. And it truly everyone in this film has a part to give to it. Is a meaningful performance. We were discussing before we started rolling. Every line and delivery has so much oomph to it that it had so much layers to it. Even though it can be very vulgar of what they're saying at some points, there's a reason for why it's said. And everyone's delivery in this film is just top notch. I can't get enough of everyone's performance in this film.
Everyone was in on what Coogler wanted to do, and I love it when a cast can get in on it, and that there was no ill note with anyone in the cast. Lee Chun Lee also had a lot of really powerful moments.
She was great. I will tell you, my theater experience was woman, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That was me. How I felt too.
I mean, he knew that everyone else wasn't gonna crack.
Yeah, she cracked. Oh my god, I think everyone had amazing chemistry too. Because even for Michael B. Jordan to have chemistry with One Me and Haley was amazing on all accounts.
Oh yeah, Will Misaki is incredible too.
Honestly, that's
unsung hero of this film.
That's honestly crazy thing is I forget to even think sometimes that Michael B. Jordan is playing two different characters, because it literally just felt his two him playing twins, they just felt so, even though they're so similar, they felt so different that I just forgot in my own head that he's playing it's just one actor doing both those, and he just had phenomenal electrical chemistry between the two women in the film.
Yeah, two things on that. First of all, shout out to costume designer Ruth Carter for the I'm sure she did this with Coogler as well.
He's about to catch a third one.
but
Oh,
the
The
clothing
vest, yeah.
like helped big time differentiate the two. If it was like justifiably difficult for some people to
The blue and
differentiate.
the red. Yeah.
But like I also love like one thing I noticed is like the scene when the three vampires first showed up and they played the song. Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed. Like, that one. I noticed that like Smoke wasn't doing anything, but Stack was like
Stack was
just, like,
feeling it.
like, vibing, and I was like,
Yeah.
Stack was feeling it.
He was like,
Ryan.
It's just so between the two of them. It's even mannerisms, like it's just
Mannerisms.
fantastic physicality.
Like the personalities are very similar, but like
Yeah.
their characteristics are like they're different enough where like
Yeah.
you can see like Smoke would never fall for what Stack did in a way.
I also love that Smoke actually listened to women in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else, like I think that
here's
Smoke
the
would not
thing.
have listened to Annie in that case to let them in like any other film, but bless you, Cooler, for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push back
I mean,
on
those
that
are right
one
ones.
because there, and I think Rule also co-signed this one. There's a long-standing belief in Black communities that women are actually the ones to listen to. So
Yeah, but like that and the fact that women aren't listened to in general is going back and forth. So like,
I know
the fact that he gave that to everybody and that Smoke listened to all the women. Yeah, it was beautiful. Again, Wunmi Masako, just absolutely top notch. Anybody ever seen her in Lovecraft Country? You knew the second she was getting on the screen.
Was that her?
Yeah.
Yes, it
That was her in
was.
Lovecraft Country. Yes.
God, yeah.
So you knew she was.
God.
You knew she was in her bag there. We've talked about it. It's probably everybody's favorite character. Delroy, man, like if you get
Slim,
the
right?
legacy,
That's my
if you get the legacy here, I won't mind at all. Not
He's
one
not gonna-
bit. I don't think
Miles
he's going to get
has
nominated.
No, I think Miles has a great shot, though. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, Steve, I think anyone had a chance, it would be Delroy. I think has
Funny
the
enough,
best shot,
funny enough.
chance for acting.
One for
No.
the Five Bloods period. That's the whole other.
He
conversation,
should.
Funny
He
enough,
could
I
have won
would-
for the Five Bloods.
right?
Oh, I
funny enough, a
totally
lot of my
agree.
other pundits are like starting to get on the Delroy bandwagon, which is interesting. But my stance is if he's getting in, so is Michael B. Jordan.
Like,
I feel like
Michael's
that
gonna
too.
be nominated for, if he gets nominated, it'll be
Oh,
for
I-
actor. But in terms of supporting, I feel like Miles is this
Should be
year's
him.
Ariana Grande. Like first movie, first moment,
True.
and fucking
True.
carries it.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
Like if he didn't have to be the linchpin, if this movie didn't live or die with his performance, it'd be one thing. But this movie lives or dies with that man's performance.
Yeah,
It begins and ends with him in a sense too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I guess I am curious too, like for those that haven't seen the film, also, what are you doing watching us right now when you should go see the film and then listen to us chat? But like, what did you guys think of like the two, the mid-credit scene and then the post-credit scene?
So I was actually going to say my only
credit scene.
There is a post-credit scene.
Oh shit! I don't know about
that.
Yeah.
And he's seen it twice.
There's a post-credit scene.
I'm going for a third time, but now I guess I gotta stay for this.
So with the mid-credit scene, if I had to have one like criticism with the movie, it's that the mid-credit scene was a mid-credit scene. Don't really like it was too crucial for them to just tag like a 5-minute like scene that kind of ties the movie together.
But
what are you saying? You're saying it isn't? You don't feel like it? Hold on. Say what you just said.
He's saying it's a disservice that it is a mid-credit scene, but I would argue it's not even because.
Well, I would say it's more of just that it was a mid-credit scene. That kind of like because a lot of people left.
So that wasn't the experience with me because people kept seeing him play, so people stopped leaving and sat back down in nearby seats and watched the screens in the screening grounds.
I think I understand both points just because there were some people who started to walk out because they see the credits, they see the rolling and they have him play the whole time.
Once there's like three flashes of him playing.
But I understand that. I didn't really care that it was a mid-credit scene, period. Like putting it as an epilogue after the mid-credits is a homage that he's an MCU director as well, or just to his comic book sensibilities, or putting it at the end. I wouldn't have cared either way. I just thought it was a brilliant scene to kind of
I think, and that's like honestly, that's like one of my favorite scenes in the whole film. I guess like my only criticism with it is Like I felt like that's how they should have ended the film and not made it a
That's
mid
what-
credit. But I don't think
That's what
he.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's
but I
that's
don't
why
think
I don't think it's a mid credit scene, because to me it
Well, no,
does end the film.
but technically it is a mid credit scene though. But I think the
It's
issue is
literally
I
at
don't think
the-
If there wasn't the intercutting, I'd be like, yeah, it's a straight up mid credit scene. But because there's this intercutting going on, I view it the same as I do opening credits, where no, the movie started, no, the movie's still going. I'm not calling it a mid credit scene.
Well, I think the issue is though, I don't know if like Coogler didn't know where to like how to end the film with it. So he was just like, all right, we'll let some of the credits roll and then have this epilogue be there.
I don't really know where the decision came from, but because I think that scene helped like contextualize the whole
I
movie.
think it does 100%.
Yeah. So that's like my only
I'm-
nitpick. It's like, is that not the scene itself? Is that it was a mid-credit scene? It's like,
I'm gonna.
yeah, it was pretty jarring. It's like, oh, there's still 5 minutes left of this movie.
I was very
Like,
surprised. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
you're still-
I'm
It's kind of like crucial to the film. Like
I'm gonna go with the point that Ryan Coogler does nothing by mistake. I believe that he wanted it there, period. And I thought it was just a nice different way to do it, because there's a lot of times you get those movies and then you get the flash forwards and it already feels like not a part of the movie. So like putting that at that point for a good separation, I like how that felt. I like being able to like say, oh, the end of the movie, we don't know where he's going. Cool. We're finishing it off. We feel better. And then we get it. It was like, oh shit. Yes. Let's continue it. I loved that feeling. Y'all were saying that that's your little nitpick brings up a great thing that I've been having a conversation with people on the internet for like 2-3 days now. I've had some people say that the movie's overhyped. It's cool. It's not great. It's not perfect. And that brought up a question for me. That another person that you don't know, sir. But that brought up the question for me. And we can keep it talking about Sinners, because I'll go over my one thing I wish for. Can a perfect movie have flaws?
Yes.
And I believe that it can, because my favorite response is from my boy Jeffrey, who's a part of the Atlanta Film Critic Association. I'm not looking for flawless in movies. So yes, the perfect movie can have flaws for me, because that's part of the perfection. For me, the one thing that I wish there was more of, but then I realized it's not the movie that was being given to me. So I'm just looking for an extra movie, and it doesn't bring this down. But I would have loved to see more of the Choctaw story, just a little bit, just to see more of them, because they interested me. I found that it really brought depth to Remick, the fact that the Choctaw were chasing him. The fact that the first time we see him, he's running from the Native Americans, and that really puts the dangerous kind of character Remick is. So when they left, I was like, ooh, I would love to see them one more time. And even though I did it, I was cool with it. But I knew I went back and was like, ooh, that's the one thing that, like, it's not a flaw per se, but if it's something that I was like, I wanted more, it's that.
Nitpick, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I totally agree. I think every film is subjective. One, I don't think in reality, nothing is perfect. Like what I might see is perfect, you might think it is so flawed and ridiculous. So I guess it's just like how you perceive it with your eyes. Like, but I think that's the beauty in perfection, is that there are kind of flaws in a sense. So I mean, yeah, like I think that's my thing is I gave this film a 4.5 out of 5. And I think I only saw it once, but I think if I saw it again, I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5. I don't know if I would say it's a like perfect film, but I think it's hands down like masterfully like crafted in every point of view whatsoever.
I would say a masterpiece doesn't mean perfect. I don't know, because a perfect movie doesn't exist.
No.
It just doesn't. Like, my favorite movie is Goodfellas. That's not perfect. It could be perfect to me and not to someone else. Therefore, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's just how movies are. But I think with Sinners, it's a case where it's like, or in my head, other than like my little issue with the mid-credit like placement, not even the scene, just the placement, I don't know what else I would have done differently. But then like when you talk about like the scene where Remick's being hunted, I didn't have an issue with it, but you did. Therefore, it's not perfect. So like it's just how film is. But with Sinners, it's like I got what I wanted. It's very much like all right, give me the thrills, give me the cool like
it's entertainment
stuff.
based at the end of the day.
It looks and sounds stunning, and it's giving me, you know, my favorite thing about like my thing with movies is the best movies aren't over when it's over, and I'm still piecing this movie together, and that I love doing that. So you know, I can call it like I feel fine calling this movie a masterpiece, even though I know it's not like, you know, it's not like spotless.
Actually perfect, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I opened up by saying it is a masterpiece, because people are going to fight back on it, because to them a masterpiece has to be perfect. That is not the definition when it comes to art. A masterpiece is a masterpiece. There's no such thing as perfection when it comes to art. Art is subjective.
Exactly.
I think if every single person working on this film is firing on all cylinders, that warrants it to be perfect and a masterpiece on like in every
exactly. Yes.
So
like I watched this and I think Coogler got the best version of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But you know, like anything else, if someone has an issue, I'm all right, let me hear it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I love gangster films, and I would have loved to see like a prequel, like a little bit more of the Smokestack Twins, like before they even like in Chicago. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yes.
But even, you know what I mean? Like just even like a little sliver of what we got, it still works. So
yeah, they
it's
gave
like,
us enough.
They gave us enough, but I wanted more, and that's what's amazing.
That's so cool because they're
with the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool because there's so many more. Like that's how much of a world he built. There's so many movies that can come off of that. You got the gangster film in Chicago.
Yeah.
You got the Bonnie and Clyde with Stack. And oh my gosh, why am I forgetting?
And I think it's Mary Louise, right?
Mary. So you got their Bonnie and Clyde story with them being vampires. You got the Choctaw stuff with Remick. You got a whole vampire movie.
The movie's not over when it's over.
You got a lot of movies that you can create off of this that would be great.
I got a question for you guys. How did y'all feel when you realized Smoke and Stack caused the St. Valentine's Day massacre?
Huh?
Oh, because of the
Irish
person.
Yes. Didn't put that together, did you?
Didn't put that together.
I remember
the
seeing
Irish
the thing.
beer and the Italian wine.
Yeah.
Oh
shit!
That's how they got the fuck out of Chicago.
I might go see it again tomorrow before I count, to be honest.
Honestly, that's my biggest thing. I can't wait to see this film again, because I think once I see it again, like it is gonna be a 5 out of 5 for me. I think I just needed to I'm like a full point like 7.5 like right now, and once I see it, again, like I know it's gonna be a 5, and it's. I always think to myself after I watch a film, like, would I own this? And I think I would ruin my Blu-ray owning this film, because I just rewatch it so many times, because it is such a has so much flair to it. It is a genre film, but it's also so much like social commentary too. And I feel like, in a sense, like you can relate it to the substance, because it is like per se like a horror film, but it has something to say about the society that the film is set in and all of that, which when a horror film has meaning to it, it just brings everything, I think, to the next level, because what's more horrifying than actual life and the shit we deal with? And even though this is set in a different time period, it's still so relatable.
It is a $90 million director's vision, a genre film that deals with, you know, religious symbology and, you know, like cultural history, like multiple and present. What else can you ask for exactly? Like, that's what I want to see when with these blockbusters, you know?
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna end my last point that I love, because there was one thing I was worried that was gonna happen when I left the film. When Haley Steinfeld came on the screen and Stack was into her, my worry was like, all right, the Black community, don't come after this white girl, please.
They are.
She is doing. I have not personally seen it. It hasn't been a blown thing. Everybody has brought Haley Steinfeld.
I made sure you personally saw it.
You sent it to me. Don't do that. Everybody that I have seen,
you saw
the community has brought this woman who is passing in the movie and who was also part
Passing
black
in real
into it. It wasn't look at Stack taking the white woman. No, everybody loved everybody in this movie. Everybody did their damn job. Shout out also again to Yao and Lee Jun Lee, because putting that history of Chinese people being in the Delta and being the midpoint between the black community and the white community, because nobody accepted them, so they did both. Shout out to that, and shout out to the Bay Area, Oakland, who is having a hell of a 2025 with this and Freaky Tales. Let's go.
Grace is an asshole. That's all I gotta say. No, but for real, Bo and Grace Chow, great. She did her part in making you feel bad for her and hate her at the same moment.
Yes. Even though we were all like, "What the fuck are you doing?" We were like, "I mean, that's your man. I get it.
We get it, but
that's your daughter
what the fuck
too.
are you doing?
That's your daughter, yeah.
It's
that thing of like, oh, what the fuck? But you're also just like, I would have done it too.
Yeah, we get it in a sense.
Listen, I know you guys brought up his name already, but I got to bring it up again. I feel like Omar Benson Miller is one of the most unheralded character actors of the last 2 decades.
He plays Cornbread. That is.
I was going to bring him up. I love. Well, you name dropped him earlier. You did mention his name. Like the fact that this kid has fucking gone on, or not kid. I was introduced to him during The Express. Then I watched him in Ballers. I've watched him in so many things growing up.
He was Anthony Anderson's cousin in Transformers.
Yep,
yes, sir. He was in Sorcerer's Apprentice.
From front to back, this
Miracle at St. Anna. Like
this ensemble is beautiful.
That scene with like when after he
8 Mile
inviting in,
the inviting in scene. He killed that scene.
He's one who gets tackled by a cop. He's one who gets tackled by a cop. But yeah, like I feel like he's one of the most unheralded character actors in the last 20 years, arguably. And I got to give him, man, a little, because his comedic timing, him and Michael B. Jordan, especially when he's getting introduced, it's like, oh, it's nice to see you again. That's my wife. I was like, well, when I offer you this money, your wife's gonna be sucking your peck. I was like, yo. He's like,
and then the wife's like,
beat your ass, and she wife's like, well, hold up. Okay. It's like, that's a good woman. Good woman. You got to use man, but that's a good woman.
That is how you make this writing is how you make a horny movie that is so damn intelligent and so damn hilarious.
Yep.
It's just great. I definitely clutched some pearls at about 2 or 3 of Haley Steinfeld's lines. Like, okay.
You ride tanks and trains, but you won't steal his pussy first.
It's so great. Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she was having fun with this.
Grew up for sure.
The deliveries were iconic.
Yep.
Yeah.
She killed
incredible. I also got because this isn't like some people are gonna go, that's not a horror movie because it has like no jump scares or whatever. But like the suspense in this movie is pretty spectacular. It's that pitch perfect line of like, you know what's about to happen. That kind of makes it scary, like more intense.
The one thing I wish, that they didn't do was show that Mary turned in the trailer. That was one peeve in the trailer. I was like, why would you?
Same with Stack.
I was like, if that was more of a surprise, I didn't mind Stack, but I minded her because that was like the bridge in the movie, basically. So that was one thing.
That's not the movie's fault, but that also disappointed me.
I think a lot of people do have that criticism that I think a lot of people do think that the trailers gave a lot away, but I think they had one. It's kind of the third act that they give away, if anything, because the first 2, 1.5 acts of this film is not in any of those trailers, really. But I think it's because you have to appeal to the wider audience, and vampires, that's the grab.
But so next time they're gonna pull you in. Yeah, next time they're gonna understand all you need to say is Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, and you don't need to do anything else.
Exactly.
You don't need to
it's kind of like
anything else.
I think it's kind of like when the Jordan Peele trajectory, where it's like Us said from Jordan Peele, director of Get Out, fair enough, and then Nope was straight up from Jordan Peele. Yes, he's there. And I think the next one's gonna do that.
I believe that him is going to kill it in the box office just off of Jordan Peele's name itself. That's the football movie that you saw the trailer of before. This is where Ryan Coogler is.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares that
he-
he's just producing it because it looks good enough and his name is on it.
I'm just bringing that point up because the general audience just sees his name. It's like a lot of the general audience does not realize that he is not the director.
Same thing happened with Candyman, I believe.
Exactly, and that's what's going to happen. What should happen. Whoever makes the trailers next time you have a Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan pick because you know Michael B. Jordan is going to be in it. You don't need to give things away. You can keep that to the chest. People
From Ryan
are
Coogler.
they're gonna come see it.
He that's the thing. I think not saying like, I mean, he's up there. Ryan Coogler is up there right now with like Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, and like these are like it's just the filmmaker themselves will bring you to the theater, and this film right here truly solidified Ryan Coogler as being one of those names that will just draw you in regardless of what the film is, kind of more or less.
I was gonna say that because I think like in this with Sinners, because it was like, to be fair, it wasn't from Ryan Coogler like on the posters and stuff. It was from Ryan Coogler, director of Creed and Black Panther, which is justified. I get why. I think the next one will just be from Ryan Coogler. You know, unless
he solidified his name right now as one of the best directors working today.
Oh, hands down.
Absolutely.
I just want to see him do more original work like this.
I think he has one more Black Panther in him, and then
I can't wait to see what he does next.
I need a gangster film. I need all the genres, like do everything possible.
I want to see him play with more genre. Like we saw we can do with horror, with sports, with superheroes. Keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
he said. I'm just going to quickly say he just had an interview with Straw Hat Goofy talking about how Death in Puss in Boots: The Last Witch was a inspiration for Remick, and he said he wants to do an animated film. So I can't wait for that too.
That would be awesome. And shout out to Green Room because he did shout out the horror film Green Room. And if you think about it, this film and that film have lots of parallels of being stuck in kind of a one location and being. Well, one is white vampires / just vampires in general, and the other half being like KKK after this like band. So those two films go hand in hand really well. So ultimate double feature there, and then you can tack on a third one, which being Puss in Boots. So
I was gonna say From Dusk Till Dawn, but that also
works. And that too, yes.
And Vampires by John Carpenter, because I'm pretty sure he drew. I saw so much of it in there. I'm like, yeah, he definitely watched it.
Yeah, watch that one.
I do want to say to Adriano, he has been on record saying he will stay in the MCU as long as they have him because he enjoys.
Yeah, no, I was more saying I think I know his next movie is Black Panther, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we'll see what else.
His next project
is X-Files.
No, it's not Black Panther actually.
X-Files.
It's X-Files. It's X-Files. Yeah.
Which isn't an original, but I'll take another horror film because he's come out and said he's.
Listen, he's copying, like we said, he's copying the Jordan Peele trajectory. Because what did he do? He tried to bring back Twilight Zone.
Yep.
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah, beautiful film, man. Beautiful film.
I just can't wait to see what he does next. That's original because I mean, whatever he does next, I'm excited for. But
I think he's going to be taking the one for you, one for me approach, going. Even though you could argue,
which is all for us.
Yeah, I would say the way he makes the Black Panther films. These are for me too. But
one of the few directors in the MCU who gets freedom, and that's like,
thank God for that.
Yeah, I'm so happy he gets that.
And to be fair, his first two films were like, these are both for me because he did Fruitvale Station because he wanted to tell the story of Oscar Grant, and then he did Creed because he's the one who saw this opportunity to revive that franchise in the Rocky franchise.
I love Creed.
With a new voice.
Creed's better than like Rocky, but anyways,
I have told people it is a sad thing when Rocky is the franchise it's a part of, and he has maybe one movie in the top 4 movies of that co-branded franchise.
Yeah,
he's got a point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But with that, folks, I think that's it from us in regards to Sinners. Thank you for tuning on in. You can find Amarú and Paige and Adriano on Bitesize Breakdown. But Amanda, tell the good people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, and you can check out my website, candidxcinema.com.
And you can find me over on my YouTube channel, Watt Real Entertainment, and here for a bigger bite. So thank you all for tuning in. And go see Sinners if you haven't. And if you have already, go see it
Go
again
see it.
and again and again and again. With that, signing off, I am Matt. This was a bigger bite, and we'll see you next time.